مرحبا شباب. اليوم راح نحكي عن المفرد والمثنى والجمع, singular, dual, and plural. So, we know a lot of this information already, but I just wanted to summarize it into a single set of slides to make sure we're all on the same page. So, in Arabic, we have the singular, known as al-mufrad. Singular words in Arabic are used for when you have one of something. That's pretty obvious. Sometimes, incidentally, this will be abbreviated with meme from the word mufrad for words that are normally plural, but sometimes we want to tell you what the singular is. So you might see a vocab list that has something like akhbar, a word we know, which means news, more than one piece of news, and the singular will be khabar, a single piece of news. Now in Arabic, unlike English, we don't really have to specify that something is just one of something. In English, you might say, I have a brother, or I have one brother, in order to express that you really just have one single brother. In Arabic, you're normally just going to say the singular. This implies one and only one. So if you say, Andi akh, it just implies that you have one akh, and not several brothers. If we really needed to specify, we can use the word wahed after the word we're talking about. And we often say wahed bes in order to really specify that it's just one. Andi akh wahed bes. In Fusha we'd say Andi akh wahed faqat. The dual, called in Arabic al-muthanna, is something we've learned a little bit about, but we really haven't formalized our knowledge of the dual. So, Arabic has a special form for when we just have two of something. This is called the dual, as opposed to a duel where two people shoot at each other or whatever. But again, the same idea of there being two of something. In Shami, all we do to make the dual is to add the ending ain to any noun. You don't need the word ithnain here, though remember that ithnain kind of has that same ending, so it might help you remember this. But the ending just implies there's two of something. So, andi ustazain fi saf al-arabi, right? We often have one ustaz Alex or something, and we often have a teacher, so we could, assistant, we could say andi ustazain fi saf al-arabi. We talked a little bit about how there are silly greetings that we use this for. So in Arabic we can say marhaba, hello, marhabtain, two hellos, just to be really nice to the person when we say it back. You can say the same thing with some foreign words. Bonjour, bonjourain, hi, hyain. Note that if a noun ends in te marbuta, then it turns into a te, just like when we add any other suffix to a word with te. Andi sayaratin, BMW or Mercedes, mashallah. The dual is much more complicated in Fusha and formal Arabic, but don't worry about that right now. Al-Jam'a, the plural, is used for groups of things between 3 and 10. Remember that it's between 3 and 10 and not 2 and 10 because we use the dual for when we have two of something. It only goes till 10 because who knows? That's just the rule in Arabic. This isn't incredibly important right now. It's just something you should be aware of. Now, as we've learned, the plural forms cannot be reliably predicted from the singular form of a word. We have to memorize these. This is why they're given to us in our vocabulary lists, usually with the abbreviation jim, telling us that there's a plural coming after that symbol, because we cannot actually know the plural of a word reliably based just on the singular. There are patterns, and there are trends, and there are common plurals that often occur with certain kinds of words, but there are always exceptions to that. So you need to memorize. Every time you learn a new noun, you need to memorize both the singular and the plural. The number with the plural comes before the word. So whenever we talk about something, we have the number, and then we have the thing that we're talking about, counting. So we could say, Ummi andaha aila kabira. Andi sit akhwal utlet khalat. Notice that both those words are in the plural, and the number comes before them. Now, the nice thing about this weird rule that anything from 11 to 99 is in the singular is that we can kind of get away with using the singular more than we would otherwise, but in reality, you normally talk about small numbers of things, so you're often going to be using the plural. You obviously can't get away with buying only 11 of something every time you buy something because you're afraid to ask for the plural, right? But just as an example, we have the number before a singular noun for these kinds of numbers. عندي 99 مشكلة بس العربية سهلة. To summarize, for واحد of something, we just have al-mufrad, the singular. And again, just the word by itself in the singular implies that there's only one. We don't really have to specify more. But if we do want to specify a little bit more, we put the word واحد after that noun. With regards to the dual, we don't have a number. We don't need to have a number. You just add ain to the end of the word, and you're done. Remember that if there's a te marbuta, it sounds like a te when you have that ain added to it, and you write it as a te. For 3 to 10 of something, we use al-jama, the plural. You have to memorize these. There's no way to know exactly what they're going to look like just by knowing the singular of a word. And when you have anything from 3 to 99, the number comes before that word. If it's between 11 and 99, you have the singular again. Yay, that makes life a little bit easier, but again, most of the things we talk about, there's a fairly small number of them. These are going to be in the plurals, and this rule is not that important for you right this instant. Shukran.